despite it being fucking 3, 4 in the morning.
Makes sense.
Or 5, 6 in the morning for you.
Yeah, I can do that. I gotta go. I literally wake up tomorrow at 9. So, no
Rip.
staying up really late for me.
Rip.
Clothes shopping.
I wonder if I should just like mute my mic and mute the Discord
Yeah.
channel and then put the entire zombie storyline.
That sounds like a good one. That sounds like a good idea. You can just chat in private then. I could care less.
No, we can chat in private. They won't listen to us. Or
That's the thing. That's the point.
So I can't think of anything that's entertaining about the stream at the moment. Not even me.
It could create what we know as a zombie. For over a decade, the Call of Duty franchise has always managed to dominate the gaming market. While the multiplayer is so iconic it practically defines the shooting genre, there is an equally iconic game mode that has built up its own reputation. No one would have expected such a simple concept to blossom into something so meaningful. Adapting the gameplay as well as the story as it grew in both popularity and passion was Call of Duty Zombies. While oftentimes to understand and grasp a timeline it is best told through a chronological perspective, Call of Duty Zombies' timeline can easily get very confusing and difficult to follow through this method alone. To best deliver the most coherent possible series of events, I will be using a mixture of both chronological and sequential storytelling to make everything as easy as possible to follow. With that said, I present you the complete, unabridged timeline of Call of Duty Zombies. Like most stories, everything starts at the beginning, quite literally in this case. The first beings to ever exist in the universe were known as Keepers. They existed within the Ether. The Ether is simply the name which encompasses the entire universe as a whole. The Keepers were unearthly creatures, but their intelligence and power was astounding. The very first Keeper to ever exist, simply referred to as the First One, created a device known as the Summoning Key. This single device is the oldest artifact in all of creation and allowed the Keepers to manipulate the Ether. With it, they created Agartha, a physical manifestation of the Ether itself. This place would go by many names: Paradise, the House, the Place Above Creation. But despite what it was referred to, it was a location which exists outside of all known and unknown universes, and simply exists within its own pocket. This would be the home of the Keepers. The First One also used the Summoning Key to seed life across all other dimensions, each dimension with their own quirk. But as life goes on with all creation, there is destruction. The Ether didn't come to exist without its complete opposite also being birthed. The Dark Ether serves as the hell to the Ether's heaven. It is a realm of pure evil capable of corrupting anything that enters it. The Keepers eventually came to uncover its existence, and like most intelligent beings, it was their own curiosity and self-greed which got the best of them. Here enter two very important figures into the timeline, Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man. Both of them are Keepers, however significantly more important than the others. The Shadow Man sought to use the Dark Ether's power for his own self-benefit, and so he ventured into it. Being his best friend, Dr. Monty attempted to stop him, however, was unsuccessful. The Dark Ether corrupted the Shadow Man and all of the Keepers who were with him. The corrupted Keepers began to become morphed, changing their appearance and becoming an entirely new entity known as Apothicons. Unlike the Keepers, the Apothicons were given new purpose due to their corruption. Their sole motivation became to wreak havoc across all of creation. They invented the Ether Pyramid, a device which could harness the power of the Dark Ether and control the Ether entirely. Seeing the danger the Apothicons posed, the Keepers were forced to take action and fight against them. This led to a war between the corrupted being led by the Shadow Man and the uncorrupted being led by Dr. Monty. This event would go on to be known as the War of Agartha. When all the smoke settled, it was the Keepers who came out victorious. Seeing their inevitable defeat, the Apothicons hid away their Ether Pyramid on the moon in one of the newly formed universes. All of the Apothicons were then banished to the Dark Ether, where it was to remain their prison. From here, Dr. Monty, as well as all of the other Keepers, vowed to be the protectors of all universes, guardians of the multiverse, never allowing the Apothicons' corruption to spread. As time passed, the Apothicons slowly somehow managed to worm its way out of imprisonment and into creation once more. And with it, they attacked humanity and Earth. In this universe, the Apothicons attacked humanity, and keeping true to their promise, the Keepers once again descended upon Earth to fight them off. This time, the Keepers were aided by humanity. There was a group of warriors in particular, which, when banded together, they were able to put a stop to the Apothicons. This event would go down in this universe's history as the Great War. With that, the Keepers yet again sealed the Apothicons away, but similar to last time, the Apothicons still had a method of tampering with the multiverses. While they themselves were not able to cross back into creation, they were capable of sending a specific element. This element would widely be known as Element 115. With it carried all the chaos and evil of the Apothicons. With enough exposure to it, by simply being in its vicinity, it could create what we know as a zombie. By sending these elemental meteors to all of the dimensions, they were hoping that it would cause enough chaos somewhere to shatter creation itself. And by doing so, it would inevitably set them free from their prison once more. It is important to note that neither the Keepers nor the Apothicons can intervene directly with the free will of humanity. Anything they want them to do, they must decide according to their own volition. The reason this is relevant is due to a device known as the Agarthan device. This is yet another artifact which holds unspeakable power. The Agarthan device is capable of manifesting the user's will into reality, like a genie in a bottle. It was even capable of putting an end to the conflict between Keepers and Apothicons altogether. This is why both the Keepers and Apothicons sought this out. However, unlike the summoning key, which existed since the beginning, the Agarthan device needs to be crafted. It required three things: the blood of an Apothicon Elder God, an elemental shard which can only be obtained by binding 4 souls to the ether through a piece of Element 115, and a vessel for everything to contain it. And all of that leads us to Earth in the original timeline. Where the Apothicons sent divinium meteors to different dimensions, in this timeline it was first uncovered by the small mining town of Purgatory Point in the year 1885. This story follows a man named Jebediah Brown. When he was only 10, he and his mother moved to Purgatory Point seeking a new life. The two settled in quite well, both getting jobs in the local shops. For over 40 years, there never quite seemed to be anything of note. But one day, the miners uncovered a mysterious blue rock. This was element 115. Due to the frequent and direct exposure to it, the rock corrupted a miner named Clive Farnsworth, who was turned into a zombie. He returned to the town and killed Jebediah's mother, viciously ripping out her throat. Clive was promptly killed by their neighbor, and Jebediah buried his mother.
The day's the 14th of April, the year of our Lord 1885. A day I will hold dear until my last. I have done and spent 30 years of my life in Purgatory Point. My ma brought me out here when I was but 10 years young. She hoped to give us a chance at a new life. They're good folk here in Purgatory Point. Sure, sometimes they get a little rowdy, and maybe we strayed too far from heaven's gaze, but what do you expect from a frontier mining town? Something happened to one of the miners. Clive Farnsworth, a good man, came by the shop a few times. Anyway, he went down into that mine, stayed down there for 10 days. When he came back up, he was changed. They say he was like a feral animal, rabid and carnivorous. His mind was gone, his flesh all sallow and bloody, his eyes ablaze in a red light. First home he stumbled upon was me and Ma's. I was at the shop at the time. Ma went out to meet him, and Clive, Doc said it happened quick. Clive jumped on her, ripped her throat. Old Bill ran over, put two through Clive's skull, shot him dead, like a dog. But Ma, she's been laid to rest now. She'll rise up to heaven, and bless her soul, she'll be greeted with open arms. That mine, they've been digging for that blue rock. Some folks say you stare too long, you'll find the devil in it. I need answers. I need to understand what happened. I'll head down to that mine tomorrow.
He knew something was wrong, as word had spread about this blue rock, and so he went searching for answers himself. He visited the Element 115 meteor, and upon his interaction with it, it forever changed him. The corruption had touched him, and thus connected him to the ether. That night, upon his return, he had visions from what he perceived as angels. In reality, these were the Keepers. They had warned him to prepare for what was coming, and were also testing the limits over how much influence they can have over humans. Their first real test was getting him to create a machine that could upgrade any weapon put inside of it. This was the creation of the very first Pack-a-Punch machine. They guided him in constructing the blueprints, and despite not being much of a blacksmith, he was successful in the Pack-a-Punch's creation.
The day's the 19th of April, the year of our Lord 1885. Somehow. I don't know how it's possible. Last I recall, I was headed into the mine. I swear, I was only down there for a few hours. When I come back up, townsfolk say I've been missing for 5 days. Then there was last night. When I slept, I had a vision. 2 angels came down to me from heaven. They told me I needed to be ready to prepare for what was coming. And what was coming, they would not tell me, but how to prepare. Build a machine, they said. A machine that will grant you great power. Now, this machine was complex, requiring craftsmanship and mechanical skill I did not have. I told them such, but they said not to worry. They would guide my hands. The way they described it, it sounded like an oven or a kiln. you stick your rifle inside, and when it come back out, well, let's just say that rifle would pack a serious punch.
This machine garnered the attention of many locals and visitors alike, but most importantly, it proved to the Keepers that humans could be of use. The Keepers yet again visited Jebediah, only this time hoping that he could craft the Agarthan device. This proved troublesome, as he had no means of getting Elder God blood, nor 4 souls. What he was capable of, however, was crafting the vessel for which it would be held, and that's exactly what he did.
The day's the 30th of June, the year of our Lord 1885. My invention is the talk of the town. People been coming from far and wide, eager for a chance to upgrade their firearm. Revolver, rifle, the machine don't care. It'll pack 'em all. I pray every night, thanking the heavens for sending them 2 angels. I couldn't have done this without their guiding hand. They returned to me last night. They told me there was another machine they wished me to build. They called it the Agarthan device. Said it had the power to grant that which one truly desires. I told them I was their servant. Show me the path and I will walk. They said I needed 3 things. The blood of an elder god, an elemental shard, and a metallic vessel to harness and carry both. To find the blood, they instructed me to travel to the bottom of the ocean. I told them this I could not do, for I would perish. To craft an elemental shard, they instructed me to forge 4 souls with a blue rock from our mine. I told them this I could not do, for I do not have the means to siphon a human soul to an element. But a metal vessel? Well, I am a blacksmith. That I think I could manage.
Over time, the town would fall into ruin due to its close proximity to Element 115. The residents became delusional, paranoid, and even Jebediah suffered some side effects as well. He became overcome with grief about the loss of his mother, and for whatever reason, perhaps the simple madness of losing one's mind, he dug up his mother's corpse and put it into the Pack-a-Punch machine. This created an unforeseen result. Her body did not disappear from the machine as any normal gun would. Instead, an apparition of her appeared in their old house, although it was a much younger version from when she died. Her ghost would continue to be bound to the house for the foreseeable future.
The day's the 21st of July, the year of our Lord 1885. I have a confession. I am burdened with sin. I fear I am the architect of my own damnation. This town is cursed. The devil himself has possessed our people. Folk have been acting all kinds of crazy paranoia, visions, seeing things that ain't there. And the violence. 7 dead in the last 5 days. Sheriff don't know what's gotten into these people. But I know it. It's that damned mine. Them blue rocks. Doc believes them to be meteors from the sky, from up in the stars. Maybe from heaven. But whatever the cause, I fear the disease that consumes this town has gotten to me as well. Last night, I felt overcome with loss and grief. I went to see Ma at the cemetery. Maybe it was a whiskey. Maybe it was delirium. I can't say, but I dug her up and took her into town. I took her to my shop where I kept the machine. I I don't know what came over me. Like something took control of my body, like a puppet on strings. I put her in the machine. I don't know why. Maybe it would bring her back to me. But she vanished. Nothing came back out. I stumbled home in a daze, but as I arrive, I see before my eyes, I see an apparition, a spirit. It looks just like her, only when she was younger. She floats around the house now. I catch her playing the piano.
There's a
The angels. The angels. They came back to me again. I've built the metal carriage just as they asked. Only one thing left to do now. Upgrade it with my machine.
Seeing his purpose as having been fulfilled and the steady decline of his well-being, the Keepers instructed him one last task: to put the vessel he crafted into the Pack-a-Punch machine, which he did. Such energy mixing with each other wound up teleporting Purgatory Point beneath the surface of the Earth all the way in Angola, Africa. Following this, the town was completely overrun by zombies, and Jebediah is killed.
The day's the 22nd of July, the year of our Lord, 1885. We are truly lost. This town, these people, we are being punished by heaven for our transgressions, and now must suffer the righteous hand of retribution. I did as they asked. I put the metal vessel in the Pack-a-Punch machine just as instructed. Next thing I know, all the energy, all the power of the world gets sucked out of the air as if pulled inside the machine. Next thing, the world went wide. I came to, and I see that my shop, all the people, the whole damn town has been transported, as if willed by the Lord, into this cavern buried below the surface of the earth. I fear we are at the threshold of hell, the world just waiting to open below our feet. We've been overrun by the devil's army. The dead have risen and now do us in battle. My name is Jebediah Brown, and I bow humbly before the two angels and ask for forgiveness. Show us the path to salvation. We are listening. Hello?
The events that transpired here would remain buried for some time. No one would know of the zombies or Element 115. All that was left were remnants of a once forgotten mining town. The setting and time frame for everything that's about to happen is World War II, Nazi Germany. The events that happened in the real world are very much the backdrop for everything going on around it. World leaders and military alliances all still apply. For this story, we are largely following the side of the Germans. The next character to uncover Element 115's existence was a doctor named Ludwig Maxis. He formed an organization known as Group 935 dedicated to this element's research and study. Among its constituents was Edward Richthofen. Dr. Richthofen is a bona fide sociopath who sees no moral distinction between natural death and plain murder. He is a Nazi doctor and major general within the Axis ranks. He was originally at the forefront of torture and information extraction research during the war. But when approached to join Maxis to research Element 115, he joined. It is also important to note that Richthofen is also part of the Illuminati and was working on behalf of their interests when joining Group 935. The Illuminati's role in the entire timeline is largely unimpactful and not important. The facility they were given was at Doris. Other notable members within the organization included Sophia, Maxis's personal assistant and lover. Other accompanying scientists included the likes of Dr. H. Porter, Dr. Schuster, and Dr. Groff. There were also 2 spies who infiltrated the organization as well. Despite being kept under wraps, the OSS caught wind of this new project and infiltrated the group in attempts to learn more. These included 2 Americans named Peter McCain and later Dr. Harvey Yena. Years after Maxis's discovery, the Japanese army also discovered deposits of 115 in the swamp. They established the Rising Sun facility and similarly created a group to research it known as Division 9. In the early days of Group 935's formation, it was solely dedicated to Element 115's research and the concept of bettering the human condition.
Gentlemen, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome you to Group 935. This is a prestigious moment in the history of our race. You represent the future of technological advancement. You are the pioneers of human discovery. In your hands lies the destiny of mankind. In our hands is a great power, and with that power comes a price. You have volunteered to be part of this great experiment, and with that decision comes the responsibility of absolute secrecy. No one is to know what you do, where you work, what our research has uncovered, or what our purpose will be. You will have no further contact with your governments or with your families. Your decision to fully dedicate your lives to Group 935 is absolute. In your lockers, you will find your Field Ops Manual, which will direct you should our manifesto get compromised. We cannot afford to let this power fall into the wrong hands, and therefore the Field Ops Manual should be considered your Bible. Make your preparations now. A new dawn is beginning for mankind.
Much of its time and effort went into building the Matter Transference device, a teleportation device developed by Element 115, though experiments with this would be largely unsuccessful. Attempts were made right out of the gate by teleporting human corpses, but they would always be reduced to slop. If the teleporter didn't immediately maim the subject, then they simply vanished without a trace. But the two stumbled upon a miracle. During one of their teleportation tests, the corpse was brought back to life. While the teleportation was a failure, this was a whole new avenue for further research. They learned Element 115 had the ability to reanimate the dead, and so Maxis sought to find a way to control them. But this was an especially difficult task as the zombies were always disobeying his commands. Maxis almost completely shifted his attention from teleportation over to the undead. Richtofen continued on with the help of Dr. Schuster. Over the next few months, the two scaled down their testing size from human teleportation down to a walnut, and for the first time, they successfully teleported an item as intended.
Log entry 38, date December 4, 1939. The matter transference prototype is prepared for test run number 151. We have now reduced our test subject's mass to prove that this is possible. Dr. Schuster, please give an overview.
Yes, Dr. Richtofen. We have the new test subject, a walnut, weighing in at 10 grams. The target platform is now at 3 feet with no obstructions. We have 1 microgram of the element, which, according to our calculations, will be entirely used up during tests.
Excellent, Dr. Schuster. Commence test number 151.
Yes, Doctor. Please, insert your earplugs.
Good God! We've done it!
We have powered up the prototype and have moved a walnut directly from the prototype device into the receiving device. It moved instantly. It
Teleported. Get me Dr. Maxis immediately.
Maxis wasn't too pleased as he had instructed them to research the undead. But he was more upset for a different reason. Over time, Group 935 ran into financial problems, and they needed someone who was willing to fund their research and developments. This is where Maxis struck a deal with the Nazi Party. They were willing to fund Group 935 and allow them to continue their research so long as they developed weapons for them, which Maxis agreed to.
But this is not the crucial experiments that you are supposed to be working on.
With all due respect, Dr. Maxis, this is a breakthrough of unimaginable proportions.
What? That you moved a walnut a few feet? Yes, Edward. We will improve the human condition by revolutionizing the walnut industry. I can see it now. Edward's walnut delivery.
Don't be obtuse.
How dare you call me that? We are at war, Edward. I will admit that there is promise here. But until this war is won...
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Maxis, but Group 935 is a research organization. What was the motto? To improve the human condition? What business of ours is this war?
Fine, Dr. Richtofen. I will let you in on a little administrative secret. We are finalizing a deal with the Nazi Party. We need funding. We need equipment. They need new weapons. Chances are this war will end soon with a treaty or two, and we will be in a much better position to help the world.
Are you certain this won't cause massive defections? We have scientists from all over the world working with us.
That is why it is with the utmost confidence that I share this with you. No one will know of this. This is simply the breaking of an egg to make an omelet.
Think of the tactical advantage we would have.
Think of the cost. Think of the time. We can provide the Nazis technical expertise in various areas without putting all our eggs in your walnut basket. Good day, Edward, and get back to your real work. Bloody jerk.
I think Dr. Maxis has lost his perspective. No matter. We'll do this on our own and publish the findings before he has a chance to.
You're not suggesting that Dr. Maxis would steal this technology and perfect it without us, are you?
I would by no means discourage that thought. Great scientists must stick together and achieve great science.
Fortunately for them, Richtofen had already invented the Wunderwaffe DG2, a wonder weapon powered by Element 115. To save the hassle of mentioning each individual creation as they happen, for the sake of simplicity, let's just go through them now. The Thundergun DG3 was the successor to the Wunderwaffe, originally thought up by Richtofen but instead created by Maxis. Maxis was also responsible for the JGB, also referred to as the Shrink Ray, as well as the original ray gun. Richtofen also invented the monkey bomb. The various other scientists within Group 935 had their part as well. Harvey Yena invented the scavenger sniper rifle, Dr. Porter invented the successor to the original ray gun in the Ray Gun Mark II, and likely the Mark III as well. He was also responsible for the wave gun. Pretty much every wonder weapon found within the games were created by either Group 935 directly, or similar groups who were doing the same thing later down the timeline. This also goes for the perks and elixirs. Juggernog, Quick Revive, Speed Cola, and Double Tap were all fused with Element 115 for their special effects. These inventions would happen over the course of the timeline, so just keep that in mind. They didn't just all get invented in a few months. The Nazis were happy to fund them so long as their weapons development, teleportation technology, and reanimation of the dead were to be used to help them in the war. This is why Maxis was so upset over Richtofen continuing the teleportation experiments when an undead army would be far more useful. But Richtofen was surprisingly a man of science. He might be a sociopath, but he continued to work diligently on human teleportation. In fact, as time went on, he became so confident in the success of the matter transference device that he offered himself to be used as a test subject. And this is where you can really say Richtofen's story begins.
Entry 42. Date, January 4, 1940. Dr. Schuster and I, despite mounting pressure from Dr. Maxis, have continued working on the matter transference prototype. We have made great strides in the last 30 days, and are ready for our first human subject. If our calculations are correct, we will send a test subject, me, to the receptacle station sitting 30 yards away and behind a cinder block wall.
Are you certain you want to do this, Dr. Richtofen?
Nein, Dr. Schuster. but this must be done. Quickly, put in your earplugs and power up the machine. Is there a power outage? Why is it so dark? I feel almost weightless. How very unexpected. Dr. Schuster? Hello? There. I can see now. Oh my God. I'm standing in a circular cave, surrounded by some kind of machinery. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. It looks almost alien in nature. There's a pyramid structure in the center of the room. I'm going to try and carefully touch it. Ah! Static electricity. It's smooth to the touch. Very cold. Not a speck of dust. Might be hollow. The chamber is quite large. I see what looks like capacitors in the ceiling of the chamber, but there are no obvious connections to anything electrical. What is this place? Dr. Schuster? Is that you? Dr. Schuster? Look at this. It appears to be covered in some kind of hieroglyphic language. I've not seen anything like it before. Why are you whispering to me? There's no need for that. Glass is loose. Do you hear that? It sounds like... My God! What happened? I seem to be in some kind of jungle. I can't be certain of where I am.
He was transported to the moon, where he encountered the ether pyramid that was hidden by the Apothecons. Piqued by his curiosity, he inspected the device where he was electrocuted, and thus the corruption of the dark ether.
Culture evolves at the speed of light, just like your financial needs. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you in the know and ahead.
Spread unto him. He began hearing He was transported to the moon, where he encountered the ether pyramid that was hidden by the Apothecons. Piqued by his curiosity, he inspected the device where he was electrocuted, and thus the corruption of the dark ether spread unto him. He began hearing the many voices of corruption, including that of the Shadow Man himself. These voices told him many things and informed him about much of the alien technology. He was slowly driven insane, forming an obsession with finding a way to the fabled Agartha. Shortly after becoming corrupted, he was then teleported to Shangri-La. While it was initially shocking finding himself in the middle of a jungle, he did meet the residents of the area, as well as uncovering more traces of Element 115. Upon learning this, it didn't take him long before he began manipulating them for his own benefit. Due to the indigenous people's primitive culture, Richtofen introduced them to the miracles of modern technology: hydropower, mining systems, electricity. Richtofen was worshipped as a god in their eyes, and this made it easy for him to convince them to mine Element 115 for him. And they did. While here, he encountered the Focusing Stone, another elemental rock from the ether which held a unique purpose. When combined with something known as the Vril device, different to the Vril vessel, one can swap souls with another human being. Richtofen had an elaborate series of traps built to protect it, and once it was done, subsequently left Shangri-La. With no more guidance, the inhabitants, with constant exposure to 115, became zombies and died. He returned back to Doris less than a month later and informed Schuster of what he'd witnessed.
Log entry 43. Date January 23rd, 1940. I cannot be certain what happened to Dr. Richtofen once the test was commenced. He just disappeared from the machine into thin air. I have searched the area for days and have no evidence that he is anywhere. I am afraid I might have to scrap the...
got anything. We've done something. Something wondrous. Shh. Do you hear them?
Dr. Richthofen, you're alive.
I'm more than alive, Mr. Schuster. Is the device still intact?
Yes, but what happened to you?
Ah, something wonderful. That chamber was incredible. The wonders we can learn.
What are you talking about? Are you all right?
Get in the matter transference prototype, Dr. Schuster. We have worked.
Bearing witness to the pyramid on the moon, he and Dr. Schuster formed a plan to build a base there where it could be further studied. The base on the moon would be known as Griffin Station. They used their newly successful teleportation technology to transport workers and supplies. Many 935 scientists were happy to join Richthofen's cause as they had become disgruntled with Maxis's arrangement with the Nazis. And from here, Griffin Station would continue to be built. Maxis was completely oblivious to the advancements Richthofen and his men were making, but that's in part because he had his own problems at the time. Funding was yet again running out, so he had Sophia write a letter to Reichstag High Command, informing them of this problem and updating them on the mass production of their weapons.
Sophia, this letter is to go to the Reichstag High Command immediately. Gentlemen, it is with the utmost urgency that I draw your attention to the lack of funding being injected into the giant project. While I believe we are close to realizing the ultimate plan, we still have several years of development before it is ready. It would be folly to cut our expenditures so early in our development. As you know, early tests on the DG2 have easily outperformed expectations, and we fully anticipate mass-producing the Wunderwaffe within the next few years. Work on the matter transference has, however, come to a standstill. We simply do not have enough Element 115 to continue the experiments. The test subjects have survived the teleportation, but are currently unresponsive to commands and cannot be controlled. If we are to overcome this obstacle, we need to increase the frequency and size of the experiment. To this end, I suggest we find not only a regular supply of 115, but that we also find a larger conduit to channel the energy. Our operatives in America have informed us that the U.S. has a large supply of the element at the Nevada base. So time is of the essence if we are to stay ahead of them. This cannot be done if you cut the budget, nor can it be done if you insist on pressuring us into action before we are ready. I am, of course, available for discussion on the matter, but in the meantime, I will continue with the work here and try to win this damned war. Signed, etc., etc., Dr. Maxis.
In response to this, Germany complied and even gave them new bases of operations to continue and expand their research. These included a repurposed theater at the Kino facility in Kino der Toten, an asylum facility in Berlin, which is Verrückt. They even managed to convince the Japanese army to relinquish control of their Rising Sun facility in Shinonuma. Division 9 would still remain intact, but just under the leadership of Group 935. Two other facilities were established as well, one in Siberia near the Tunguska River, which is where the maps Call of the Dead and Tag der Toten take place, and one in an old rundown castle named Der Eisendrache. Now I've gotten a bit into this timeline without mentioning someone who's to become very important down the road, and that is Samantha Maxis. Her mother died upon giving birth, and so her father brought her along to the Doris facility to be closer to her. However, this would not be the case. Maxis was so focused and dedicated to his study and research that he often neglected Samantha and failed to keep an eye on her. As an attempt to make up for his negligence as a father, he gifted her a dog named Fluffy.
Now, you must be very diligent, Miss Samantha. Owning a dog is a great responsibility.
Yes, Father. Oh, I love her.
You must feed her every day and walk her, and be very careful when you play with her. You know she's going to have puppies.
Really? Can I keep the puppies too, Father?
We'll see, Samantha. One step at a time.
But for now, Samantha would simply just exist in and around the area. Just over 1 year later, Griffin Station was successfully built on the moon. Richthofen places Dr. Groff in charge of its research and returns back to Earth to continue the charade with Maxis.
Gentlemen, for 2 long years we have toiled here and at Eagle's Nest, to build our fortifications. For 2 long years, we have taken equipment to build up our labs. For 2 long years, we have worked under Group 935, believing that Dr. Maxis truly wants to help the world. For 2 long years, we've led a double life. Today, that all ends. I bring to you what this project is all about. What I have worked to keep from my enemy.
What is it, Dr. Richtofen?
Looks alien. It is an ancient Vril machine. And you, Dr. Groff, are now the lead scientist here at Griffin Station. You will be the one to discover how it works.
We first must discover what it does.
9, Dr. Groff. I know what it does. It has a direct connection to another dimension.
It's preposterous.
No more preposterous than teleporting all of this gear to the moon or to building Griffin Station, is it?
I suppose not. How do you know what it does?
I have found many interesting Vril artifacts here. I have decoded some of their language. All signs point to this device being a stable gateway to the ether.
Dr. Richtofen, I'm aware of a project being run by Dr. Maxis at Doris concerning Vril.
As am I. I am going back to my post at Group 935 to continue the charade. I will be finding out just how much information Dr. Maxis has on Vril. Once the machine is operational, I will enact my plan and return. Gentlemen, let the games begin. This is so loud!
For the most part, Maxis wouldn't pick up on Richtofen's schemes, but he would begin to question his sanity due to his frequent exposure to 115.
Though our matter transference tests at the new site have been largely unsuccessful, the teleporter's malfunction has nonetheless yielded some interesting data. The fact that the test subjects departed their original point of origin is undeniable. What is uncertain is what became of them. Richtofen is insistent in his belief that they have been transported not through space, but through time. In the absence of empirical evidence, I myself cannot entertain such madness. I fear, Richtofen, irrationality may soon prove a liability to our endeavors.
Regardless, it wouldn't matter. Soon he and Sophia were transferred to the Kino facility to focus on creating Germany's undead army. Maxis's methods involved a sort of brainwashing tactic. The subjects were exposed to a series of images to condition their memory. If the zombies were capable of recognizing and remembering what was shown to them, then it proved they were intelligent and had the ability to learn and thus be controlled.
The test subjects have been undergoing treatment for 5 days with little progress. I have been assured that given time, the programming will take hold.
Their most successful test subject was Subject 26.
In the past weeks, we have made great strides in breaking through to their subconscious. I have had the projectionists make edits to the film. These changes have been very effective. Subject 26 has had a breakthrough. He is responding to the treatment and following basic instructions. The violent outbursts have been greatly reduced, and given time, we feel this method of treatment will be 100% effective in most cases.
Maxis didn't need the zombies to remain controlled forever, just long enough to be used as soldiers pointed in the right direction. The ideal amount of time was 26 hours.
Our timeline for deployment can be accelerated, given the progress we have made in the past 2 weeks. If patient 26 can retain the impressions longer than 26 hours, we will have the process perfect.
Unfortunately for everyone, this breakthrough didn't last long. Subject 26 appeared to be in a permanent state of docility, which caused everyone to let their guard down. It attacked its handler, which led to both Subject 26 and its handler being put down. However, it didn't only attack the handler. Sophia was also attacked and infected, though she tried to keep this information hidden from everyone.
After many weeks of failure and frustration, Dr. Maxis finally achieves the breakthrough he had been searching for. The results were immediate and startling. In the case of Subject 26, his instances of violent outburst were non-existent. His docility appeared permanent. Unfortunately, while we prepared to implement the treatment on the other subjects, there was an incident. During his field test this morning, Subject 26 attacked a handler. 26 and the handler were both destroyed. Maxis believes Subject 26 only attacked the handler. He does not know I was attacked as well. I have observed a developing pattern of high fevers and cold sweats. My thoughts are erratic. My relationship with Ludwig is complicated. I fear I cannot keep this secret from him for long.
Maxis did find out about Sophia's injury. He kept a personal log documenting what happened to the subject and formulated his own plan of how to deal with his lover.
Another setback. Patient 26 was killed this morning in a field test. He lost control and attacked one of our handlers. His injuries were minor, but patient 26 was destroyed. The break-in programming coincided with the flashing lights and loud noises of the fire alarm in the test facility. One moment. What is it?
The break-in programming coincided with the flashing lights and loud noises of the fire alarm in the test facility. One moment. What is it?
You wanted to see me, Ludwig?
Sophia, yes. Do come in. Sit down, my dear. Have some tea.
Is everything all right?
No. Everything's fine. Drink your tea. I heard a nefarious rumor earlier regarding the field test with Subject 26. Are you feeling all right?
Of course.
Just strange, this rumor. May I see your arm?
What? No. Why do you need to see my arm?
Relax, Sophia. I would never hurt you. You know that, right?
Of course, but...
And you know I care deeply for you.
Yes, but...
Yes. Then you know everything I'm about to do is for your own good. This is Dr. Ludwig Maxis, beginning preliminary trials for the Strategic Operations Planning Heuristic Intelligence Analyzer.
What's happening? Ludwig? Dr. Maxis?
Hello, Sophia.
Where am I? It's so dark here. I can't see anything.
That's all perfectly normal. How are you feeling?
I feel nothing. What have you done to me?
I saved you, Sophia. I saved you the only way I knew how.
Oh, Maxis. What have you done?
He preserved her brain and transferred it into a machine, whom he'd also named Sophia. This would be Sophia's cruel fate for the foreseeable future. As for Maxis, he deems the zombies incapable of being controlled or maintained. As for Richthofen, when Maxis was sent to the Kino facility, Samantha was placed in his care, and he took her to the Siberian facility to conduct his own human experimentation, not just on new test subjects, but also on Samantha herself. It's not exactly known why or for what reason, but Richthofen had experimented on Samantha where he came to form a hatred for her. Nevertheless, this would slowly develop over time. It is also around this time that Group 935 uncovered remnants of Purgatory Point and collected all of the research found there left behind by Jebediah Brown. Richthofen learnt of the Agarthan device and its ability to make any desire come true, the necessary components needed to craft it, and he figured it would make a good backup plan to get to Agartha, if his goal to take over the world didn't pan out. Also, it kind of became Richthofen's goal to take over the world and gain absolute power. The Vril vessel was brought to him, and he kept watch over it and the Agarthan device's progress.
Log entry 937, date May 15th, 1942. Dear Diary, our men have safely returned from Africa, where they recovered a number of artifacts buried underground, in some sort of subterranean cowboy village. Apparently it was American. That's right, an American cowboy western town, buried underground in Africa. Stupid American Schwein, with their apple pie and their baseballs, all thinking they can just waltz into another country and claim it as theirs. There is no art to their work. But I digress. The boys have returned with a number of fascinating articles and documents. They have pieces from a destroyed machine called the Pack-a-Punch. With a name as clever as that, it must be American. I have given the schematics to Dr. Porter. Perhaps he will have better luck replicating Jebediah Brown's work. Speaking of that blacksmith, we also recovered plans for the Agarthan device. It seems that the blacksmith already built one of the pieces, the fabled Vril vessel. The Agarthan device, a device capable of granting that which one desires. Almost like a genie in a bottle. I think I shall keep this genie in my back pocket. If my plan fails, and it won't, perhaps this device can get me to Agartha.
As for Richtofen's human experimentation project, 3 test subjects were captured.
Log entry 1438, date July 18th, 1945. Dear Diary, I have been at Group 935's Siberian facility now for merely days, but mein cup already runneth over with exciting news. First, yesterday, I learned that I would receive not 1, not 2, but 3 test subjects. Hopefully with proper 115 injections, we will be able to use these specimens to access the human mind. The Chancellor's undead army is on standby until we crack this crucial step.
Firstly, a Japanese samurai in Bushido named Takeo Masaki. He's a man who's always been dedicated to his principles. He was born into a wealthy family, a bloodline dynasty of highly decorated samurai. Even from the early age of 5, he would be seen playing in the streets with his katana, slicing the tails off terrified kittens. It was clear that he was going to continue bringing honor to the Masaki name. His life was dedicated to perfecting his discipline, for without it, life otherwise had no meaning. He joined the Imperial Japanese Army and quickly rose up its ranks, as war was the perfect setting for him to explore his bloodlust and the nature of those less honorable than himself. Due to the legacy of his family name and actions on the battlefield, Takeo garnered attention from the Emperor himself. He witnessed Takeo's unwavering fear, his ability to stare death in the face and endure whatever was thrown at him, and he was jealous. He began to use Takeo for his own personal missions due to his loyalty. This even involved overseeing Division 9's research on Element 115. Takeo reported that the work being done there was unacceptable, and in response, the Emperor ordered Takeo to hand himself over as a test subject, for which he complied. Takeo was then taken by Group 935. The second test subject was the Russian Sergeant Nikolai Belinsky. His reputation is shrouded in that of a ruthless killer, someone who's climbed up the ranks by murdering those ahead of him and sleeping his way through the political ladder. However, these stories of him may be just that, stories. In reality, there was only ever one thing he loved in this world, and that was his wife. She meant everything to him, but once Germany began their advance into the Soviet Union, the country became a war zone. They bombed the major cities, and Nikolai's wife was killed in the carnage. This was perhaps a fate worse than death for him. It sent him into a spiral of drowning his sorrows in alcohol. He drank to forget, and it is likely within his drunken stupor where the tales of the ruthless killer Nikolai were born. Also made up were stories of his ex-wives. He began speaking about various other women he had married, who at least 5 of which he murdered himself. These women were non-existent, but rather a manifestation of the sadness he was burying deep within him. Nikolai would continue to fight on as a soldier, part of the Soviet forces. He participated in the Battle of Stalingrad where his brother was killed, and he was subsequently captured by German soldiers and taken by Group 935 to become a test subject. Richtofen's third test subject was a Mexican of unknown origin named Pablo Marinas. These three were subject to Element 115 experimentation as Richtofen attempted to unlock the human mind, tamper with the brain and body by using Element 115, and create an army of soldiers for the German forces. It wasn't just about controlling these three in particular either. They also attempted to clone them so they could create their own soldiers. The Element 115 affected them all differently. Takio began vomiting uncontrollably, Nikolai was not responsive to the treatment unless vodka was involved, but it was perhaps Pablo who was affected the greatest. The Element 115 gave him visions from the past, the future, different timelines, and different dimensions. He quite literally saw through space and time. He rambled about what he saw, which caused him to be looked at as insane. While Richtofen continued to work on creating soldiers for the German forces, he began to find the work boring and uninteresting, which led him to reevaluate his interest in the Agarthan device's creation.
Log entry 1469, date August 28, 1945. Dear Diary, progress continues on unlocking the human mind. If Germany hopes to continue their war, they need an undead army willing to obey orders. There's also been further interest in the Super Soldat program. The German Chancellor considers this of high interest. We have begun the cloning process. We will have to see what results we yield. Test subject N3WB has been vomiting for 2 days straight. Our poor janitor. He has nightmares. Needless to say, we will no longer be serving fish. The Russian subject continues to be unresponsive. Dr. Yina suggested a serum made of vodka, but considering my concerns about his loyalty, I wonder if this is perhaps another attempt at sabotage. The specimen from Mexico continues to rant incoherently about giant monsters and some uber-fun war. Perhaps we were a little too eager with his 115 injections. I did not think he would go this crazy so quickly. If I'm being honest, I'm beginning to find this work a little drab and boring. Undead armies, super soldat programs. Group 935's deal with Germany has truly limited the organization's potential. The appearance of the spy last month has inspired me to review the blacksmith's schematics. The Agarthan device and its 3 components, the vril vessel, the apothecon blood, and the elemental shard. The instructions to creating the elemental shard have my interest piqued. 4 human souls merged with element 115. Not that I'm trying to brag, but this may be something in my wheelhouse.
Richtofen's experiments would continue with further failures, particularly the death of Pablo during a test to unlock the human mind via the spleen.
Scalpel, please, Dr. Yee.
Scalpel, Dr. Richtofen. What exactly are you looking for, Dr. Richtofen?
We are attempting to locate an appropriate stimuli that will trigger the brain's involuntary willingness to obey command. There we are. Forceps, Dr. Yee, if you please.
Forceps, Dr. Richtofen. But the liver and kidneys, or spleen?
Our goal is to unlock the barrier to the human mind. With element 115, it is important that we explore every possibility. The barrier may be where we least expect it. There we are. Retractors, please.
Retractors? It seems the Chancellor has been pushing us harder these last days. Is this because of the spy that was discovered at the asylum?
I do not know, Dr. Ina. Our German leader, along with Dr. Maxis, is so limited in his thinking. His goals are simple-minded, childish. He keeps pushing for his undead army. then you could have the elemental shard.
The elemental shard?
A device capable of endless energy. We could use it to craft anything, including an Agarthan device of immense power. Hold this open while I grab the injector.
Agarthan device? Why haven't I heard about this?
Dr. Yena, do you have a firm grip? You're shaking.
I'm ready. Please, proceed.
Injecting serum in 3, 2, 1. Hold it open. The injection is nearly complete. I can't hold this grip. Well, I guess the barrier isn't in his spleen. Nincompoop! You did this. I knew it. You let go on purpose.
Richtofen, it was an accident. My hand slipped.
Don't go.
Log entry 1471. Date, September 2nd, 1845. Diary. Another day, another failure. This time, subject N3WB just blankly at the floor. The Russian subject still smells like urine, even after he was given a bath and deloused twice. And I think I might have killed the specimen from Mexico. His spleen is on the floor, and he's not moving anymore. I can verify with certainty, however, that the barrier is not located in the spleen. Dr. Continue no matter the cost. I wonder what he might think of the experiment with the little girl. Nice! Drop that! That's my spleen!
As time went on and Richtofen descended into madness, Cornelius Purnell, who was responsible for sending Peter McCain in as a spy to Group 935, believed the group was losing control over its experiments and decided to pull the plug on the investigation. A special force team was formed with the intent of extracting Peter McCain. It was led by Tank Dempsey. He was chosen due to the grit he showed during the Battle of Peleliu. He and his men were captured during the early raids, and he spent 2 weeks submerged in malarial water in a rat-infested bamboo cage. He gnawed his way through the cage and took down his captors with only a bobby pin and his Medal of Honor. All he knows is war and working to win it for everyone he's fighting for. He is the definition of an American hero. He, alongside John Banana, Smokey, and Paxton Gunner Ridge, were sent to the Verrucht facility to extract Peter McCain. Before they got there, however, Peter's identity as a spy was uncovered and he was captured by Group 935. An outbreak at the asylum shortly followed, and amongst the chaos, Peter had managed to escape, but lost his left forearm in the process. By the time the extraction team arrived, it was too late. The facility was overrun, and they were forced to fend for themselves. Both Smokey and John Banana were killed. A radio was left behind in Banana's final moments of death when he lost his mind.
Field report. A quiet retort. The mission has all gone south. It's Johnny here. Smokey is near, most likely with meat in his mouth. We've been here for ages. I ran out of pages, but now have a mic to record. The mission has failed. McCain must have bailed, and now we must fight off a horde. We came to Farouk with low ammo and luck, and now Smokey's lost his head. We went down the halls, they bit Smokey's balls, and now he walks with the dead. They call me Banana, I worked at a cabana. I rhyme to keep myself sane. Though Smokey is dead, I'm holding his head, which right now is eating my brain.
Dempsey, on the other hand, is captured by Group 935 and is used as a replacement test subject for the Mexican in Richtofen's experiments.
Log entry 1472. Date, September 10th, 1945. Dear Diary, today was a good day. The swelling has subsided. The ice helps. They made liverwurst for lunch. It was... I still have not had any luck reprogramming any of the live specimens. Dr. The key to unlocking the human mind will be more easily discovered on someone who isn't dead yet. I am not convinced. The army is stored until I can break this trust barrier. Oh, apparently someone in security found a spy in the group. They are delivering him from place, the one that I broke. Oh.
The only survivor was Gunnar, who managed to make his way back to the United States and report what happened to Purnell. Dempsey was transported to the Siberian facility, and he, alongside Nikolai and Takio, were all exposed to serums of element 115 and tested on by Richtofen.
Log entry 1473. Date, September 17th, 1945. Dear Diary, today... Hands off me, damn dirty Nazi. Uh-oh. That's right. You want some of this? I'm taking you home in bags. Freak. Nine. Things for America. Okay, now. I suppose this must be the replacement specimen. Time to get to work. I can still hear you. Hit him again with the stick!
There were many attempts to grow their own versions of these three, but each one of them came out deformed and a failure in one way or another. In the end, these tests would be unsuccessful and later abandoned. Experiments would continue to be conducted on the three, however. Serums of 115 were continuously injected into them, causing them to slowly go mad. Evidence of this can be found in their prison cells written on the walls. These experiments caused side effects in each one of the characters as well. Dempsey had a loss of intellect, but his will became stronger than ever. Takio became silent, but when he did speak, they were usually in old proverbs. And Nikolai became dependent and only responded via vodka.
Log entry 1474. Date, September 20th, 1945. Dear Diary, it would seem that the OSS realized that we captured one of their spies. They tried to send a rescue team into Beirut. That was first batch of test subjects. I suspect there are other moles in the organization. Dr. Harvey Ina and Dr. Peter McKay, to be precise. Dr. McKay include any Americans in Group 935, no matter how much genius they held. Stupid Americans with their apple pies and baseball and children. But I digress. The new American test subject is interesting, not muscle. His intellect seems low, but his will is strong. Like the others, he doesn't seem to know who he is anymore. Unlike the others, he keeps breaking the restraints and yelling at me. Test subject N3WB is still staring at the floor, muttering what sounds like some kind of proverb over and over again. I think his mind may have been destroyed by the process. Oh well. The Russian subject recently began responding to stimuli, but only after injecting him with a new serum made primarily from vodka. Perhaps this is a breakthrough we've been waiting.
While Richtofen continuously worked on unlocking the human mind, his own motivations and goals would also be tested. He began making progress on the Agarthan device, specifically the Elemental Shard. Using a processed rock of 115, Richtofen successfully managed to siphon off pieces of everyone's soul and put them into the rock. This included himself, as he needed 4 souls in total, and he was conveniently around.
Over. The Russian subject recently began responding to stimuli, but only after injecting him with a new serum made primarily from vodka. Perhaps this is a breakthrough in the experiment we have been waiting for. Perhaps I was too harsh on Dr. Yina. It was he, after all, who suggested the vodka serum. Credit where credit is due. Today also marks a great success for one of my side projects. Using a processed rock of element 115 and the Vril vessel, I was able to successfully siphon a piece of the souls from our 3 specimens and inject them into the rock. Without access to a 4th individual, I used part of my own essence. Much to my surprise, the rock grew and transformed, creating a beautiful shard of glass made purely from element 115 and parts from 4 human souls. The Vril vessel, the elemental shard. All we need now is the Apothecon blood, and the Agarthan device shall be complete. End log entry 1474. Or should I say 1474? Doesn't matter.
All that was left to complete the Agarthan device was the blood of an Apothecon. Unbeknownst to Richtofen or anyone at the time, by siphoning the souls of those 4 together, it effectively bound them across all dimensions and universes. No matter what, no matter where, these four were stuck with each other, though they wouldn't know it. Seeing how Richtofen began using Group 935's resources for his own personal projects, Dr. Yina saw it the perfect time to prove his loyalty to the organization in an attempt to clear any and all thoughts the others might have had that he might be a spy due to being American.
You cannot do this. You have no authority.
You've left me no choice, Dr. Richtofen. You used 935 resources to work on personal projects. You've been threatening the employees, myself included, and you're clearly suffering from excessive 115-induced delusions.
Suffering from excessive 115-induced delusions? How dare you accuse me of such vile lies!
Dr. Maxis has ordered the elemental shard to be sent to Division 9, where they are better equipped to study it appropriately. You are to cease experimentation on the test subjects and put them on ice. You are to return with them to Der Ries and meet with Dr. Maxis. He would like to discuss your dedication to the cause.
Mine? Dedication? All of my projects, my programs. You think I'm not dedicated? You have taken everything from me. Oh, well, I still have the DG2 in active development. I suppose that's something.
Actually, no. I'm afraid Dr. Maxis has cancelled its mass production as well.
Scheiße! This is all you're doing. You are intentionally sowing discontent. You are trying to destroy us from within. You're working for the Americans, aren't you? You're a spy. Just like Dr. Peter McCain, Dr. Maxis will never have hired Americans, no matter how much genius they have.
No, Dr. Richtofen, that's your paranoia talking. You've been exposed to Element 115 for too long. I'm just a loyal servant to Group 935 trying to protect its interests. Now, if you have any issues, I suggest bringing them up with Dr. Maxis.
Oh, don't you worry, little lying apple pie brain, Herr Yina. I intend to bring up a great many things with Dr. Maxis.
Richtofen was forced to put Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio on ice, hand over the elemental shard which was to be taken to Division 9 where they could properly study it, and he was forced to return back to Der Ries with Maxis. And to top it all off, mass production of the Wunderwaffe was cancelled. Understandably, this pissed Richtofen off as he felt betrayed, and so he formulated his own plan to deal with Maxis and Samantha in the process. Like I said earlier, he came to form a hatred for Samantha, though we never really see why.
Log entry 1475, date October 1st, 1945. Die. As for the control group tests, they have been put on hold. Recently, I discovered that Dr. Max does not plan mass producing the DG2 as he swore he would. If he won't move those plans forward, then I will continue following his dream of an undead army. He doesn't deserve his perch of power. He doesn't know what to do with it. But I know just what to do with him. And I'll take care of that little brat if I get the chance to.
Before we go any further, we must first talk about the progress being made on the moon with the MPD during this time. When we last left off with them, Richtofen had just placed Dr. Groff in charge of its oversight.
Group 935 has defied all those who doubted our cause. Since the discovery of element 115, we have achieved so much. Our weapons program alone has advanced beyond even our wildest expectations. Furthermore, the fact that we have been able to establish a permanent base of operations on the moon itself leaves me filled with optimism for the future. We can literally do anything.
Despite countless hours of analyzing and studying the MPD, it yielded little to no results. It wasn't until by pure accident when Dr. Schuster killed a nearby rat that its soul entered the device and began charging it.
Log 1075. Dr. Schuster and I have spent countless hours with the pyramid device in an attempt to understand how it functions. We have made little progress until now. Today, We uncovered what looks to be some kind of tank with a glass-like front. The glass itself seems...
I've got you now, rat.
Kill it, Schuster. Did you see that? Look, the capacitor is illuminated. The tank is filling.
The machine. It seems to be activated. What did you do?
I think we just discovered what powers this machine.
This information was swiftly sent to Richtofen, who had no hesitation in what needed to be done. Richtofen arranged for various scientists and soldiers to be sent to the moon, where they would be sacrificed to charge the pyramid.
Station, this is Eagle's Nest. Status update, over.
Hello, Doctor. We have the shipment and are carrying out your orders. Grim work, Doctor.
All in the name of science, Dr. Gruff. Continue until the tanks are full.
Yes, Doctor. May God have mercy on us all.
For Richtofen's plan to succeed, it would spell the downfall for Group 935 entirely. He intended to execute something known as Operation SHIELD, also known as Security Protocol 935. It is never directly explained what this is, but logic would dictate it's the emergency measure everyone is to take in case of an outbreak. All Group 935 members are equipped with cyanide pills to kill themselves so as to not suffer a gruesome mauling at the hands of zombies. Group 935 would effectively die. It's not what Richtofen inherently wanted, but he believed Maxis had changed the group's goals from researching Element 115 to simply helping the Nazi party, and he hated that. But he didn't want the work to go to waste. In fact, he wanted it to continue. So instead, he struck a deal with the Americans and Russians. He agreed to hand over their research and findings thus far, and even have scientists, which he trusted, be transferred over as well under their supervision. Considering how Group 935 was at the forefront of its research, they agreed.
October 10th, 19... You've done what, Dr. Richtofen? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not see the microphone in my hand? Recording for posterity is important. October 10th, 1945.
You've made a deal with the Americans?
And the Russians. You can't forget them.
But our work, this war...
The war is over, Dr. Schuster. It is my responsibility to ensure the work of Group 935 continues.
But these deals... It would mean the end of Group 935. The Americans and the Russians would tear us apart. Everything we stood for.
Everything this organization stood for died the day Dr. Maxis made that infernal deal with the Reichstag. You and I both know this to be true. Listen to me and understand. Our technological developments with 115 are the envy of the entire world. These agreements guarantee our work will continue in America and Russia, and that they will continue with our scientists at the helm. I am sorry, but for our work to live on, Group 935 must come to an end. Oh, cheer up, Dr. Schuster. I have asked that you go to the Americans. It will be good for your softer side.
You will not go to America?
Nor to Russia. Once Dr. Groff confirms that the MPD is ready, we will proceed with Operation SHIELD as planned. And then, I have a date with destiny.
What are you getting out of this deal, Dr. Richtofen?
A feeling of fulfillment that I've saved my fellow scientists from the unemployment line and possibly prison.
Edward, please.
Don't you worry about me, Dr. Schuster. I will be well taken care of.
By this point in time, Richtofen had returned to Doris. The pyramid was charged and ready to be used, so Richtofen could finally carry out his plan to get rid of Samantha and Maxis.
Eagle's Nest, this is Griffin Station. We have an update. Over.
Dr. Groff, have you made any progress?
Yes, Doctor. The machine is ready and awaiting the conduit.
Very good. I will proceed with Operation SHIELD and join you shortly.
Security Protocol 935.
Yes.
I will dispose of Dr. Maxis and that little brat personally. Do not touch anything.
Teleportation tests continued as usual with Richtofen and Maxis, unbeknownst that Richtofen had already figured everything out.
Initiating test number 3. Subject is within the test chamber. Activate power. Oh my God. Do you hold yourself and clean that up? Test number 3. Unsuccessful. Test subject has been reduced to the same state as previous subjects. Clean up the test chamber and recalibrate the system. Let's do it again. Yes, Doctor.
Though our matter transference tests at the new site have been largely unsuccessful, the teleporter's malfunction has nonetheless yielded some interesting data. The fact that the test subjects departed their original point of origin is undeniable. What is uncertain is what became of them. Richtofen is insistent in his belief that they have been transported not through space, but through time. In the absence of empirical evidence, I myself cannot entertain such madness. I fear, Richtofen, irrationality may soon prove a liability to our endeavors.
For test number 5, Maxis actually used Fluffy, the dog he gifted to Samantha, though Fluffy would disappear into the ether.
Edward, tie the damn thing down! We can't have it running around during the test!
It's tied down now, Dr. Maxis.
Initiating test number 5. Subject is within the test chamber. Activate power.
Searching for vitals. No reading, Doctor. The subject has disappeared. Dr. Maxis, we've done it!
Don't be foolish! Test number 5 is unsuccessful. Subject has vanished, yes, but has not reappeared at the mainframe. Recalibrate the damn system, now!
Test number 6 is where Richtofen enacts his coup to finally get rid of Samantha and Maxis.
Initiating test number 6. Subject is within test chamber. Activate power. Damn it, Edward! Did you set up the device correctly?
Yes, Doctor. As per your specifications.
If you had done it to my specifications, then it would have worked, wouldn't it? As usual, your incompetence has...
What? Do you hear that, Doctor?
Quiet, you fool! Test number 6 is a failure, but the experiment has caused some kind of electrical force energized within the chamber. Well, open the door!
Doctor, I don't think...
Open the door, now!
Daddy, what are you doing with Fluffy?
Damn it, Samantha, I told you never to come in here. Edward, get her out of here.
Yes, Doctor.
What's wrong with her? Daddy, what did you do? Fluffy!
Come back here, Samantha! Stop her! Easy. Come here, Samantha. Good girl, Flossie. Gently, Samantha. That's not Flossie anymore. We must get out of here. What? Edward, what are you doing? Open the door! Edward, open this door now!
Dad, I'm scared.
Don't go! Stay by me, Samantha!
Goodbye, Dr. Maxis.
Fluffy reemerged from the teleporter, though not as the dog she once was. It was changed into a hellish beast. This is what would go on to be known as the Hellhound. Maxis and Samantha were trapped in the test chamber and teleported. Richtofen had no intention of teleporting them anywhere specific. It seems that he had actually just intended for fate to decide, or perhaps he was hoping that the teleportation would simply kill them outright. But that's not what happened. Samantha was teleported to the moon, where she encountered Groff and Schuster. Scared and frightened, she fled for her life, where she accidentally ran into the MPD, where she was sucked inside.
Mr. Schuster, report.
The tanks are full and the shields are down. The machine is humming nicely.
Good.
And what of the shipment?
Most are buried outside of the base. The live ones we've sent back to Kustova Postum.
Excellent. There's nothing left but to wait for Dr. Richtoff's return.
Perhaps this is a good time to work on my low-gravity putting in the biodome.
Yes, a little leisure time would.
Intruder detected. Receiving bay. This is not a
Security, report.
This is not
What? Can you repeat?
She's coming right toward them.
Get her! Get back here! Nay, do not let her! Damn it! Dr. Schuster, find a way to get her out of the pyramid. I will contact Edward and let him know there has been an incident.
Maxis was teleported to a location simply known as the Crazy Place. It is a difficult location to describe, but in the simplest of terms, it is a gateway to get to Agartha. Many have searched for it, or something like it, to get to Agartha, but this is unequivocally where one can do it. It seems to exist outside of time and space, similar to Agartha itself. This is relevant because while stuck here, Maxis develops the power to merge with electricity. As for Fluffy, it is unknown where she was teleported. Seeing Samantha entering the MPD as a potential issue, Richtofen was informed of this development. He figured if Samantha lived, then Maxis would also have to as well, and he must be somewhere in the world. While Richtofen has proven to dislike Maxis, if anyone could be capable of coaxing Samantha out of the MPD, it would be her father.
How did she end up there? No matter. I know what must be done. In the meantime, see if you can find Dr. Maxis. Perhaps he can talk some sense into her.
Did you not deal with him already?
Yes. And if the child ended up there, then Maxis must be somewhere too. Find him.
How do you propose?
Dr. Groth, I cannot do everything for you. I leave this in your capable hands. There is much to be done.
Yes, Doctor.
Oh, and Groth?
Yes.
I keep an eye out for an evil-looking dog while you're at it.
Maxis is successfully located and brought to the moon, but things don't play out as they were hoping.
I hope this works. Schuster, power it up.
Systems nominal. Accessing the device. Interface via MPD active. Accessing MPD. MPD integrity check nominal. Awaiting input.
Excellent. Bring the sample.
Analyzing MPD. Creating profile. Profile created.
Excellent. Now, scan for target.
Yes, Doctor.
Target located.
Bring him here. Immediately.
Greetings, Dr. Maxis.
Schuster, I should have known. Where is that rat Edvard? Where are we? And how did you get me out of that wretched...
None of that is important right now. Allow me to fill you in.
Samantha, honey, Daddy is here. Come, dear, please. Open the machine. Daddy will not let them hurt you anymore. Honey, Daddy knows he's made some mistakes. I am truly sorry that you were put through so much. When your mother died, I could not bear the thought of losing you, too. That's why I kept you so close. I did not mean to neglect you. I just wanted to know you were safe from harm.
Daddy!
I love you, Samantha.
I love you too, Daddy.
Can you do something for me? Something very important.
Yes.
Kill them all. No! We are doomed.
Maxis committed suicide in front of Samantha to further push her down the path of revenge. The Dark Ether does what it does best, corrupt. A mere shock was enough for Richthofen to hear voices of the Apothicons and drive him to insanity and obsession. But now Samantha was drowning in it. As such, you can imagine how the dark ether corrupted her like no one had ever seen. As the zombies were born of Element 115 and the MPD created to control the ether, Samantha could now control them. And so she unleashed hordes of the undead against whoever she could, almost exclusively targeting Group 935, however. As for Maxis, he did not truly die. With his newly formed power to merge with electricity, upon death he merged with Griffin Station and its technology. From here, all hell breaks loose. Doris and Shinonuma are two of the first locations to fall victim to Samantha's attacks. Dr. Porter was at the Doris facility when it happened. He is the one who activates the alarm signaling to the other scientists to kill themselves or escape. He personally takes the option to kill himself.
But I'm all out of hope. Auf Wiedersehen, my friend.
Warning, the shield is now active.
Damn it! I can't find my pills.
Materials and report to the barracks.
They are coming. I must do what I must do. God forgive us all.
To destroy our designated materials and report to the barracks. This is not a drill. Warning, the shield is now active. To destroy our designated materials and report to the barracks. This is not a drill. Warning, the shield is now active. Scientists are to destroy our designated materials and report to the barracks. This is not a drill. Warning, the shield is now active. To destroy our designated materials and report to the barracks.
about it right now, everything's okay. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life, underneath it all, everything's actually all right. You're okay. You have more power than you might be giving yourself credit for. And if you have something that's going on in your life right now that's challenging, painful, it's just a reminder to take a little bit better care of yourself. Because you're worth it. You can have this feeling anytime you choose.
you